Let's move on to gambling. You also made waves during your State of the State by endorsing this House plan that's moving pretty quickly, actually, because you didn't have to. I mean, we were talking during your speech or after your speech. You could have just kind of said tacitly, I support this, right to vote or something, or could have said nothing at all. But you said, I support what the House is doing, an endorsement of the bill. So what won you over? What about this gambling plan won you over to earn your support?
Well, Todd, I may never buy a lottery ticket or cast a bet on a football game. My interest in this bill is to fix our broken system the right way and have gambling that's available to our folks, but that it is limited, regulated, and controlled. We don't need to have all gambling, so it's just illegal gambling right now is rampant in our state, and that's not a good thing. And so this measure will fix that and it'll go a long way toward improving our whole system.
Mm-hmm.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellow Hammer Now, and we've got to talk about the quote from Kay Ivey where she says, if you're not for gambling, just don't do it. I don't think that's how our government works. And let me tell you why, Governor Ivey. Not only when you were younger, you were against gambling because of all of the social ills that come with it. And now you're for gambling that isolates those social ills in some of the communities in the state that can least deal with it. And if that's not the case, and then why are some of the communities where gambling currently is, where we're going to put it, but we're going to legitimize it, why are those communities some of the most depressed in the state? I can't understand the reasoning here if you've written in the past about the social ills of gambling. But let's forget about that part for a second. I want to talk specifically about the notion that if you don't like something, just don't do it. This is something that people probably have said to Governor Kay Ivey multiple times about issues like gambling in the past, when she was against it. And then they probably said it about abortion. Like, if you don't like abortions, well, then just don't have one.
There are, again, folks with concerns, opponents that are fiercely advocating against the bill, saying it leads to things like corruption. It leads to addiction and family breakdown, and a lot of folks with policy concerns saying, hey, this is not the right way to do it. So how do you respond to those arguments from opponents who are pretty passionately against expanded gambling?
Well, they don't have to gamble in the first place. The idea is to give the people the right to have a vote and let us have their say in this measure.
Or how about when people want to have books read to children by men dressed as drag queens? We say that's not a good idea. And guys like Tim Lockett, formerly of the Anniston Star, he will tell us that it's important that we allow this to go forward. Otherwise, you're some sort of monster. What's wrong with a drag queen reading a book and showing graphic depictions of genitalia to 8-year-olds? What's the problem there? If you don't like it, just don't go. Do you see how weak that argument becomes when you use it for other things? So I don't like that response from the governor. I think if you're going to advocate for gambling in the state of Alabama, you should have to make the argument that it's going to make the state better. Not that we know it's going to make it worse, but if you don't want to do it, just don't participate. The state government does not have to let the people vote. They already voted. They sent people down to the legislature to represent them. They're the ones that make those decisions. So if you're a member of the legislature and you don't like the bill yourself and you're not going to vote for it, well, it's already passed the House. If you're in the state Senate, you don't like that bill, don't vote for it just to give the people an ability to vote. Instead, change the bill for the better, and let's just have a conversation about what would be good for the state as opposed to what's easy. So, again, if you don't like gambling, you don't have to do it. If you don't like the bill, you don't have to vote for it, no matter what the governor says.